Hi everyone, it is Kate Zukas here and welcome to my video for today. Today is a video that I've been wanting to do for a really long time, and I have been putting it off and procrastinating because I want this video to be able to deliver the exact messages that I want to deliver around this topic. So I am talking to you today around manifesting love. So I am surrounded by rose quartz today, which is very fitting for the topic that we're talking about. As you can see, I've got my giant rose quartz behind me as well. So I want to talk to you about this topic because it's one I am very passionate about, one that I have experienced and one that I used for myself. So I am coming up to my 8th wedding anniversary to my beautiful husband. And before I met my husband, I was manifesting love. I wanted the one. I was ready for the one. And prior to meeting him, I had been spending a lot of time working on myself, so that I was in the position I wanted to be in and the person that I wanted to be in order to attract the person I wanted to be with. So I think there's a lot I learnt about manifesting love in the process for this. So I'll start right at the beginning. Before I met my husband, I was engaged to someone else, and I called that relationship off 5 months before we were due to get married, and it was a very challenging time. I wasn't sure if I should just go through with it, and it took a lot for me to actually walk away from that situation, and it was absolutely the best decision I made in my life. Because I look at where I am now, I look at my relationship, and I look at how fast things happened when I made the right decision. After that broke off, and I have done a video around why I became a yoga teacher, and this is a major reason why I started to follow my yogic path. And so after that ended, I spent a good chunk of time just focusing on myself. So I did my yoga teaching course. So there is the video around that if you do want to watch that, and can give you a little bit more information on my yoga background. But I did spend that time on myself, focusing on myself, looking inward at what I wanted, and also learning to self-love. After you go through a few different experiences, I was in a relationship which I didn't feel good about myself. And so it took me a little while to start to feel good about who I was, learning to love yourself again. And I think, again, if anyone's in that situation where you're learning to love yourself at the moment, rose quartz is such a beautiful crystal for self-love, and one that I use every day. And this is actually a crystal that my husband bought for me, so the double hearts, which is so powerful. I can almost feel it vibrating now. It's beautiful. So I wanted to share my story because I manifested as I was doing my yoga teaching course as well. So I spent a lot of time journaling. It's a very inward focused course that I did to start that journey, but I did a lot of other stuff on the side around affirmations, law of attraction. I really got into that because I really wanted to be with the person that I wanted to be with. I was ready. And the more I learned to love myself and focus on myself and make myself happy, the more attractive I was becoming to myself, but the more attractive I was becoming to everyone else as well. So that's why I kind of want to start to share my story of manifesting love. And yes, I did use a lot of techniques that they talk about in The Secret. And it was amazing how when you get really clear on what you want, and I was so clear on what I wanted. I would journal what I wanted. I wrote a list of all the qualities that I was looking for in the person I wanted to be with. And, you know, and there was some really basic stuff on there, you know, really basic stuff. Nothing on there was superficial. And I actually found that list a little while ago and read through it. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, like my husband is all of this and more. So be really, really clear on what you want and what you are looking for when you are manifesting as well. And writing it down, I find really helps. I find it really helps because you can get it out there, you can talk it through, and I feel it's just a very powerful way of setting your intention for what you are wanting. Be happy with yourself. I think if anyone's out there starting to manifest love, starting to look at you know, or out there who's saying I'm manifesting and it's just not working, you need to be happy with yourself first. You know, and I know the one thing that my husband said, he's gone through his own experiences as well, and that all taught him to love himself and to appreciate himself and to know that he is worthy as well. So we were both on our own separate journeys and just ended up at the same destination. But we had to go through what we went through separately in order to be the person that we were when we met each other. So I think that there's a lot in that. The universe knows the right timing. So it can speed things up very, very quickly. And just to let you know how quickly it happened, from the time that I separated kind of from my ex until the time that my husband proposed was 12 months. You know, so I did my yoga course. We started dating 2 weeks after I finished my yoga course. And then he proposed 3 months after that. So things can happen very, very, very quickly when you're on the right path. So never be afraid to make the decisions that you need to make. And I know sometimes they can be very, very, very scary, but what's scarier, staying in the situation you're in or actually moving towards what you really want in your life? So manifesting love has got a lot to do with being happy with who you are first. Louise Hay says that, you know, true prosperity begins when you feel good about yourself. Feeling good about yourself will then start to put you in that vibration of attraction as well. Feeling good is so, so, so important for you. And, you know, and from The Secret, I know, I took a lot of their tips as well. I put it into practice, and my acts of faith that I was doing, you know, and I used to sleep in the middle of the bed. And then I moved to one side to make space, you know, and wardrobe, I cleaned out half my wardrobe to make space. So I think it's about creating that space for the person to arrive in your life as well. How can someone else join you in your life if you are full to the brim? You know, that's one of the biggest things I've learned about manifesting is feel good. You know, make sure you are feeling good about who you are. Make sure that you are creating space. You know, getting rid of all that junk, working through what you need to work through mentally, emotionally, you know, physically, spiritually, working through all of that stuff, letting go what you need to let go of, you know, and they were just some physical symbols I did to kind of say, universe, I'm ready, you know. So there's a lot of other different things you can do. One of the things I did when I was manifesting for my husband was I would do a date night once a week. So it was just by myself, you know, and people would say, Kate, you want to come out for a drink? And I'd say, no, sorry. And I didn't tell anyone that I was having a date by myself, but, you know, it's just kind of, no one needs to know these things. I just wasn't available, and I was available for myself, and I would cook myself a yummy dinner. I would have a couple of glasses of wine. I would act like I was on a date, and I set that time aside once a week for my date night. And it was really nice because I really did, this is how you would act if you're in a relationship as well. So I was really putting forward some very strong symbols that I was ready. So please, some of these things really do work. You know, writing down what you want, working towards it. And I really knew, like I never knew anything before, that I was going to be with my husband. I was, you know, I just knew it. And I think that force and that power and that energy that I was putting behind this, I really believed it. And I was really ready. And so this is manifesting. You know, I use this, and this is why I think I've waited so long to do this video, is it is around, you know, it is manifesting love. And it's something that we can all do. You know, we've just got to, you know, feel good about ourselves. One of the things to think about is there is someone out there that is manifesting you. So you've got to make yourself available. You've got to deal with what you need to deal with so that you are ready, so that you are open, and not closing off everything. So, you know, and just don't be so rigid. And I know I said before, you know, I wrote a list of everything I wanted, and that was non-negotiable. None of that stuff, though, was anything physical. You know, I was completely open to what the universe had to offer from, you know, any type of physical perspective. And so I was open and, you know, and willing to give anything a go and to say yes to life. I think that's really important as well when you're manifesting, saying yes. You know, don't block things, you know, and it's just like simple things. Don't just get out of your own way. I think that's one of the big things with manifesting, making sure you're letting go, handing over. And I think Gabby Bernstein says is perfect, you know, with surrendering is, you know, handing over to the universe. And that's what I know I did. I kind of went, you know, I know this is going to happen. Universe, do your thing. I'm just going to have fun and put out that vibration that, you know, I am having fun. I am happy with who I am. And that in itself is such a powerful attraction piece, because who doesn't want to be with someone like that either? So there's a few pieces here that I do want to just reinforce as well. So I'm going to say this one again. Remember that there is someone out there that isn't manifesting you. So, I mean, just saying that makes me feel good. It makes me feel like there's hope as well, and there's belief that things can happen. So I know that I do feel very, very guided to be doing this video at the moment. So there's probably people out there that need to hear some of these messages when it comes to manifesting love. You've got to feel good. Feel good about yourself, and you've got to feel worthy. You are worthy. You know, you are worthy of the best. Do not settle. That's my biggest learning. I look at what my life could have been like, massive sliding doors moment, and just how amazing it is to be with the person you are meant to be with. And, you know, nothing compares to it. You know, it is an amazing feeling, and you're only ever one decision away from a completely different life. So don't settle. I remember going to a palm reader when I was in my early 20s, and, you know, he was looking at my palm, and then he's like, you're not going to find love for a while, which is not what you really want to hear, because it's, you know, so after that, he's just like, oh, I can see something. He goes, just make sure you don't settle. He goes, just do not settle, because the person you end up with is not going to be the type of person you think, or, you know, at this stage. So just make sure you don't settle. And I just remember, I forgot about it. And then I do remember over the last few years just going, wow, like that's a really powerful message. Just making sure you do not settle. Know your worth. Know your happiness. Know what makes you happy. And, you know, don't settle for anything less than you deserve. So that's something that's really important. I've given you my examples of some of the things that I used to do. So sleeping on one side of the bed, I think that was just such a big move for me to kind of go, oh my gosh, I need to make the space for someone else. This is what you do when you're in a relationship, making space in your wardrobe. I mean, it's really, really simple stuff. I mean, that was hard. But it is, you've got to do these things. It's like, how bad do you want it? You know, I was ready. I wanted it. I would have done anything. And I always joke with my husband, because I live in Sydney, and I was living in the beautiful northern beaches, and my husband's from the eastern suburbs, and it's very rare you have people from the northern beaches moving over to the eastern suburbs, and it was a big move. It was a really big move for me, so I've never spent much time over here. But, you know, it just shows you've got to be flexible, you've got to be open. You can't keep saying, oh, I'm not going to do that, I'm not going to date someone like that, I'm not going to date someone who lives here, because things change. Like, I look at where we were 8 years ago and where we are now, things change. So, you know, I think just be open. Don't keep saying no, say yes, and see the amazing things that can happen. Just reading my notes to see what else. I wrote notes for this video today. Feel good. That's the biggest one. Get out of your own way. The universe knows the timing and it will speed stuff up. Make sure you are listening to your intuition. I do remember when I was with my ex and I had this pull. I felt my body was just pulling me, and intuition just kicked in, and it kept getting louder and louder and louder, and it was just so loud, saying, get out of this situation, get out of this situation. It was it was just probably the loudest my inner voice has ever been. And there was just something amazing waiting for me on the other side. And you've got to believe, and you've got to have faith in what you can't see in front of you, and just take those first few steps. And, I know what I went through was really hard. Like, we had to go through court. We had to, all those pieces as well. And it can be really challenging, but once you get through it, what's waiting for you, and that bravery and courage of taking those steps is rewarded. So you just got to have faith in yourself as well, and take some of those steps, and be true to who you are. I think that's one of the things. Be true to who you are. Listen to who you are. Don't let anyone else manipulate or influence you, or if you're in a situation like that, just become aware of what you're in, and create a team around you to help you and to talk to and to help you through it. And these are people that are your tribe, and your trusted advisors around you to help you through. So spoken about using your intuition, massive piece, which I've just spoken about. Visualization. I spent a lot of time visualizing. I listened to so many Louise Hay affirmations to also help me feel good, and to, I was at a point where I wasn't feeling good either. It wasn't kind of what I'm feeling now. I was not feeling good. And when I was saying affirmations around, I feel good, I am loved, I am worthy, I felt like I was lying to myself. But I kept at it, and I kept at it, and it changes, and you start to then go, hey, I'm actually feeling really good about myself, and starting to learn a lot about myself. I know what I like, I know what I don't like, I know, you start to learn about that, and you do feel worthy, and so affirmations and visualization. I spend a lot of time listening to Mike Dooley. He is fantastic at visualizations and giving his advice and teachings around visualization. And I think when I was doing these acts of faith that I was doing, as well as doing a lot of the visualization, places I wanted to go with my husband and all of these things. And then I started to go away to hotels with girlfriends. I started to do things like that, so that it almost starts to put you again in the flow. It puts you in the picture. And I wasn't there with my husband, but this is what I would be doing if I did have a husband. So things like that. Don't let things block you. Don't just say no from doing things because you're not with a partner yet. Do them because you're going to attract someone faster. So definitely a few takeaways that I want to give you in this video and share my story. And yes, things can happen very, very fast. After I met my husband, we just fell straight into each other, and we were just, it was, kind of just, could not be apart from, kind of that moment on. And as I said, we're coming up to our 8th wedding anniversary. So it is, a pretty amazing place to be. I'm sharing my story. I'm sharing what I did to manifest love. I feel that this is a topic that I am very passionate about. I do manifest a lot. I do obviously work on all areas of my life, but this is the one I think that obviously I'm so passionate about, because it was just so clear, I think, from beginning to end, the transformation that I had as I was manifesting, and as I was having to step away and create space in order for that person to arrive in my life. So that's all I wanted to share with you today. Remember, there is someone out there manifesting you. So I find that just such a powerful statement, and such an empowering statement, and something that I know makes you feel good when you go, wow, there is someone out there manifesting me. Like, you know, my heart almost skips a beat when I say that. So, you know, deal with what you need to deal with. Create the space that you need to create. Be who you need to be in order to meet that person as well. So they're all the tips I've got for you today and the story that I wanted to share on manifesting love. I know there's probably a few pieces that I have not included in this, so there may be some follow-ups to this subject. But hopefully this has helped you if you are on your manifesting love journey. And so wishing you all the best with it. And I'd love to hear your own stories as well. So thank you, everyone. And I hope you have a great day. All right. See you guys.